All right, Kevin, back with you for another episode of the $1 Million Relationships Podcast. And today I'm here with John Gallucci. John, welcome. So awesome to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, I want to start off by giving a shout out. So is Kara, is she your in-house PR person? Is she an out?
It's an outsourced PR that works with Kayla George, who's my chief marketing officer, working on all different things with our brand, our team, and getting us out in front of the public each and every day. She's awesome, though.
Well, I'll tell you what, she sure is. She sure is. I had put a listing up a couple months ago on the quoted platform, and she reached out to me on that platform telling me about you. And I'll tell you what, John, she does an amazing job at talking you up. And by the time I got done reading what she shared with me, I'm like, heck yeah, I'd like to meet John and get to know him. And
She's part of
so
a great team over at JMG Public Relations, and they've been awesome to work with. And as I said, my chief marketing officer, Kayla George, brought them in a few years back, and they've been awesome to work alongside. And they're such a fun group to be with, too. And like as you said, Kara's just an awesome person. So.
yes, she sure is. She sure is. And so yeah, I want to honor that because without Kara doing what she does, you and I, John, we may have never even
It's
met.
all about building those relationships.
Amen.
Networking, networking, networking.
That's right. And what a testament right there to the power of right relationships, which of course is what this podcast is all about and stuff. And yeah, that is so awesome. So what I want to do is I want to start off, John, but I want to turn it over to you so that we can set some context here. And I'm going to kind of cast a broad net just to give you a little bit of leeway. But I want you to be able to talk about, what you do and who you serve, as well as what inspires you most about the work you do and the impact you get to make. And be sure to share some of the backstory into how did we get here? How did you get into doing what you're doing now?
Oh, that's a long list. We're going to be here a while. So
That's
so so
okay.
I'm proud to say I'm a dual licensed provider of physical therapy, and I'm a certified athletic trainer. So I
Okay.
have licensure in both certified athletic trainer and a physical therapist. I have a master's degree in sports science and a master's degree in physical therapy and a doctorate in physical therapy. So as a kid that wasn't in love with school, I spent a lot of time in school. So
Yeah.
and ultimately, I am currently a practicing therapist, as I said, and a practicing athletic trainer. But I'm also the CEO, president, and founder of a company here in the Northeast called JAG Physical Therapy. That's JAG Physical Therapy. And those of you at home could figure out JAG. It's quite simple. John Anthony Gallucci, physical therapist, is how we got to JAG PT.
Okay.
John Anthony Gallucci. So we made it simple. My mom and dad gave me great initials. My dad was the original Jag, so I'm the junior Jag. But it was great initials to name the company. We provide physical therapy services through the five boroughs of New York City, Westchester, Rockland, Long Island, all 21 counties of New Jersey, and we're in five counties of Pennsylvania. We sit at about 170 locations through those demographics we spoke about, providing musculoskeletal, sports medicine, physical therapy. We also do a tremendous amount in the sports market because of my background in pro sports. I've had the privilege of working in the NBA, the NHL, Major League Soccer. Currently, I hold the title as the Associate Chief Medical Officer at Major League Soccer, besides my title as the CEO, President, and founder of JAG Physical Therapy. So I keep busy and I keep hustling, but the most important thing, and I think the best question that you asked is what gets me going every day? And what
Yeah.
gets me going every day is giving people an opportunity to get back to work, get back to play, get back to the lifestyle that they want to live. As we like to say at JAG, get back to life you love at JAG Physical Therapy. So it could be grandma that might be having a total knee and wants to work in her backyard and do some planting of flowers and be able to kneel down. It could be a professional athlete like Zach Parisi, who used to be with the Minnesota team and the New Jersey Devils, who wanted a long career and had a knee injury and worked with him to get back. Or it could be a high school athlete trying to get to the collegiate level, a collegiate athlete trying to get to the pro level. It could be a fireman or a policeman out there protecting us and working with us to get back on the job to save a life possibly and keep us safe. So we sort of look at our entire demographic and we touch every single culture you could imagine, every catchment area you can imagine. We believe that everybody deserves the same VIP treatment that a professional athlete would get. Everybody deserves the same care. I gave you a lot. It was quick, but I wanted to make sure I answered all your questions.
Yeah. So what is, you don't have to name names or anything, but what is like kind of an extreme case of somebody that's coming to you that like maybe even they thought that like, boy, I don't know if there's any hope for them even helping me with this, but yet you were able to help them. What's an example of something like that, John?
Listen, I'm practicing for over 30 years, so I've got multiple examples, but probably my proudest moment was unfortunately, a woman was hit by a taxi cab in New York City. She
Okay.
was told that she would never walk again.
Oh, wow.
And after several surgeries and probably close to a year and a half of physical therapy with me, she was not only able to walk, she was able to dance at a family member's wedding, a slow dance. It was definitely not wasn't any EDM music going on. It was a slow dance. But definitely she was able, and it's probably one of the most proudest moments in my professional career, being able to take someone that was told by her physicians that you'd never walk again without an assisted device, and to be able to walk, be able to work in a lifestyle that she was, and then able to dance at a relative's wedding. It's probably one of the proudest moments. And realize I've worked in pro sports for years. I dealt with athletes at every level, and ultimately to me, that's probably the most special thing to me, was being able to work with her each and every day and get her rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Wow. I can only imagine how rewarding that must feel for you. And yeah, wow.
That's why I chose the profession, and I'm excited that I did. And it teaches you. Most people don't realize physical therapy and the provision of physical therapy teaches you valuable lessons of motivation, teaches you valuable lessons of one kind is unbelievable, and usually a kind is returned. So it's fantastic to be able to help people each and every day and watch them help people each and every day.
Yeah. Yeah. So if I heard you right, you said you guys have currently 170 locations. Is that right?
170 locations in the catchment area that I described. Yes. New
Okay.
York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay. And so,
Oddly, we were the first company ever, and this is so weird. We're the first company ever to touch all five boroughs in New York City, and we're the first company ever to touch all 21 counties of New Jersey. I
wow.
like to say I'm born and raised here. I wanted to make sure I touched all the spots that I was born
Yeah.
and raised.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. So, what's your vision for the company going forward from here, John?
My goal is the people that need us have access to us. That's my goal. So when you look at the current catchment areas that we're in and the opportunities that we have, we're serving a community, and that community only helps us each and every day. Our best marketing, our best advertisements are our patients.
Yeah.
And literally our patients are so kind to us that they've opened up so many opportunities and doors for me and my colleagues at JAG Physical Therapy. And if you look at our expansion in the last just 2 years, I would say that 80% of that is because of former patients have spoken to different insurance groups, have spoken to different doctors, have spoken to different healthcare systems to basically have JAG be part of their community and work within them, offering physical therapy services. We're also very proud that we're the largest athletic training service business for youth athletes, high school athletes, collegiate athletes in the Northeast. We have over 150 athletic trainers ingrained in the sports community in the 3 states, working from injury onset to direction of care, let it be emergency room or a specialist doctor, into physical therapy, and then back to return to play on a field. Very, very proud of those different things. And my roots come from athletics. So very, very excited. And that's sort of how I got into the profession of physical therapy and athletic trainer.
Okay. Wow. That's really, that speaks volumes, that your patients are out there just doing kind of like what Kara did with me, just talking you guys up because they're just so happy with the results and stuff, I mean, man, that speaks volumes.
As you can imagine, you understand the unbelievable return you get from networking.
Yeah.
We try to teach our new graduates, we try to teach every employee how important it is to build your own personal network, and your personal network helps you grow your professional network. And as
Yeah.
your professional network grows, it just gives you more opportunities of growth personally and professionally. And
Yeah.
we teach that from day one with every employee. We teach it with every one of our providers. To us, it's very important to be ingrained, but also build your own personal and professional network.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, you're definitely someone who believes in the power of right relationships for sure. So, with that in mind, I'm going to switch gears just a little bit here, and I'm going to reiterate the question for the benefit of our listeners. So, John, have you ever been introduced to a person or persons who completely changed the course of your life or your business, so much so that much of what you have today would not be possible if not for this person or persons? And I'm just really excited to hear your story and your experience around this topic of relationships.
Well, that's an awesome question, and the best person that I could probably speak about is Rich Giordano. He's
Okay.
been a mentor of mine since I'm 16 years old. He's definitely guided me on the right track of education. He's guided me on the right track of going into a career that I absolutely cherish and love. He's guided me in the rights and wrongs of some business decisions. He's also guided me in some rights and wrongs of personal decisions. I've known Rich pretty much my whole life, but as a young student in high school, I remember having a conversation with Rich, and he was asking me, so what did I want to do when I went to college? And I gave him an answer, which was, well, I'm going to wrestle in college. And he smacked me at the back of the head and he goes, wrestling is the sport. What do you want to study? What do you want to make college bring you to? What path of a career and profession? And I turned around and I said, to be honest with you, because I sustained various injuries, I really love this physical therapy stuff. I love this athletic training stuff. I worked with a high school athletic trainer with my injuries. I worked with a local physical therapist with my injuries. And again, I got smacked in the head and he goes, do you have any idea what I do for a living? And, I turned around and I said, no. And he goes, well, that's horrible. He goes, I'm a physical therapist in sports medicine. I currently work for the New York Rangers. Talk about not knowing. And he
Yeah.
goes, I also own my own physical therapy practice. And he goes, if you truly want to be a physical therapist, when you get your driver's license at 17, I'd like you to come work for me and let's see if you got what it takes to be a physical therapist or an athletic trainer. And I started working for him at 17 years old. I'd
Wow.
like to say even now at 58, I'm still working for him somehow. But I started working for him and he gave me the keys to success. success on a clinical pathway, a professional pathway, but also gave me the keys to success on a personal pathway. Wanted to make sure no matter how hard you work, there always has to be opportunity for you to be with your family and and take some downtime. And he's taught me many valuable lessons in my life. But most people like to say, well, he's your professional mentor. No, he's my personal mentor as well. So very excited that Rich has been part of my career and my life all these years.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So you got that's a long-term relationship right there for sure.
Yeah.
You know. And so if you I'm sure once again to this question, you can come up with lots of examples. And I just want to challenge you to come up with one. But if you look at your life and the specific situation where you personally, John, got to make a really big impact and maybe even in the moment maybe it even surprised you a little bit, but yet you also know that that would have never happened if not for your relationship that you and Rich have. What's an example of something like that, John?
I think a great opportunity was really starting JAG Physical Therapy and
Okay.
seeing the growth that we've had and the careers that we've fostered and people that have joined us and grown the company and have gone with the same principles that Rich instilled in me, I've instilled in them. I mean, if you look at my team here, think about this. We're serving so many areas, but if you look at my original team of JAG Physical Therapy, we're still a unit. We're all still working together. We're all still trying to build a business based on the ethics and morals that I was taught by Rich. So my proudest thing that Rich ever afforded me was guiding me and mentoring to build such an awesome company and have people working in the same principles and ethics and morals that he instilled in me as I was a young student and then became a young professional and then became a young executive and clinical director. And when you see our program here at JAG Physical Therapy, we have mentorship programs for young new graduates. We have programs for our senior therapists to go in pathways to become clinical directors, but also we have research directions. We have clinical outcome programs. And literally, Rich always instilled in me the day you stop learning is the day that you should no longer be working. And
That's
that's
right.
not just as a clinician. In his mind, if you stop learning and you don't realize how important it is to learn, then you shouldn't be working. Well, we've instilled that in our company and our employees. And ultimately, each and every day, we're trying to give a little bit back to the employees so they then can teach the next generation of JAG Physical Therapy. When we opened this company up, I've got to be honest with you, 20 years ago, we within 6 months were almost out of business. And it
Okay.
was literally Rich sitting down with me and saying, you've got this network of people from being in different worlds of pro sports and collegiate sports. You've got to be able to use that network to foster growth. And within 18 months, we made our first profit. My wife thanked us because we didn't lose our home. But ultimately, again, it's always good to have that person that not only taught you, but can also motivate you.
Yeah. 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 You know, it's funny how our wives they appreciate stability, don't they? And
I'm going to be married 35 years this December. I'm with my
wow.
wife. I'm with my wife 40 years. We know each other since we're 9. We've been dating since we're 18. So I've got some real good continuity there and
Yes, you
consistency.
do.
I just got to make sure anything she wants me to do, I just say yes, dear.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. And congratulations, because you know, that's something that's rare these days, you know. And like my
Yep.
wife and I, we just celebrated our 20th anniversary last week and stuff. And you know, I'm really proud of that. And you know, and it's interesting. My son-in-law, his grandparents have been married for 61 years. And I always look at them and I tell my wife, I say, you know what, that's something to aspire to right there. I was like, I wanna, you know, just be as old as them and loving you is more than I do now, you know.
It's
And
it's been an awesome ride. Dawn and I have two great kids, Stephanie and Charles, and it's awesome to see what we've built. They've now taken to the next level in their careers. Charles is a junior in college, aspiring to be an attorney. He just came off of a great internship for the summer. Worked hard, got some great accolades, so it's great to see that. My daughter Stephanie is growing in the marketing world, and she's doing phenomenal with great opportunities as a director for a company. So we're pretty proud that the kids have learned the lessons that we've given them, and they both have strong work ethics. And what's really nice is they didn't just jump in and say, "Hey, Dad, give me a job." They're creating their own path, and they're building their own networks, and they're lobbying and working for their own growth. So very proud of that. And I always like to say, my friends like to call my wife Saint Dawn. I don't think I'm that difficult. I like to say she's my muse. She definitely gets me thinking and gets me going in the directions I need to go.
yeah, yeah. Well, it obviously works pretty well for as long as you two have been together, and just looking what you've accomplished. And when I look at this, and you talk about how you've just built this incredible team, and but the lives that you've impacted, John. I mean, I just look at it and like it's mind blowing to me, because I think about not just your team and the people on your team that you have impacted their lives, but their spouses, their families, the clients that you guys serve. All the ripple effect of what you've done, will never truly be known, but it is huge. It is so huge.
Best advice I could give everybody, no matter what you're building, enjoy the ride. Sometimes you get caught up in it. You got to enjoy your wins. Everybody has losses. You got to be able to get back up and fight for the win. But I'm proud to say that we are open here at JAG 20 years. And I'm proud to say, although you've got ups and downs, I've taken the moment to just sit back and say, wow, we started off in 1,800 square feet with me as the only clinician, and now we've got 170 locations and over 700 providers of care and clinicians and close to 2,000 employees. And it's funny, I didn't realize the expansiveness of what we as a team built until I had the opportunity this year to go down to Congress in DC and talk about the provision of care of physical therapy and the importance on slips, falls prevention for our seniors. And it was amazing when they asked me to come down and speak. I said, "Well, why do you want me to speak?" And it was funny. One of the congressional leaders was, "John, you've made an impact in one of the biggest markets in the world, not even in the United States." And I never looked at it that way. I was like, I'm home. I'm born and raised here, and never really looked at, wow, you've got so many teammates working alongside for the same growth and opportunities that you've afforded them. They're now affording other people. And it wasn't until I was in front of Congress and having a conversation that it really impacted of how what a great opportunity I've had and the opportunities my team have built for others.
Amen. Absolutely. Yeah. It's really phenomenal when you start looking at that, because yeah, you've made such a huge impact in the world. Well, um, I want to thank you so much, John, for taking the time to have this conversation today. It's interesting because my goal for this podcast, since we launched it 3 years ago, it's always remained the same. For you, the guest, I want to give you the opportunity to share your story and honor a person or persons who've had such a profound impact on your life, and for the listeners who they too are entrepreneurs, founders, CEOs. I want to use these stories to inspire them to place just an intentional focus on creating more real, meaningful, rewarding, and profitable relationships in their own lives. And John, with your help today, we certainly delivered on that. And so I want to thank you so much for that. Any last thing you feel led to share before we call it a wrap?
I think it's really, really important to tell everybody out there, no matter what industry they're in, that being kind and giving a hand up only inspires others to give others a hand up. And we've all got to work together as humans and grow together and build everybody up. You know, everybody likes to say there's a competition. The best competitors are those that are also making the competition better. And the more we make people better, the more successful we could all be. My grandfather used to have a saying, one kind brings two back. I live by that every day. Kindness is the most important thing that we could give to our fellow man. So I appreciate the opportunity. You were awesome. This was great to be part of it, and I greatly appreciate you, Kevin.
That, I mean, feeling is 100% mutual. Um, any websites, for anybody listening to this going, man, Kev, I love John. I love how he shows up. I'd like to find out more about them and the work they're doing. Any websites, any resources we can share with
Sure. So
folks?
JAG Physical Therapy is pretty easy. It's jagpt.com.
Okay.
If you ever have questions on anything in reference to provision of physical therapy, you can go to info at jagpt.com.
Okay.
I would love for your listeners to follow me on my Instagram. It's Dr. Jag PT, and that's DRJAG love for people to jump on that. And we talk about business, we talk about health, we talk about what's going on in everybody's health. We just did a great piece a couple of weeks ago on cardiac health and in your mid 40s and 50s and the importance of exercise. We did a whole thing on movement, but I also talk about some business tips and networking and communication and branding, some different skills in business that are very important. So it's a well-rounded thing of our success on Dr. Jag PT, and I'm having fun with it. It gives me an opportunity to engage every week with an audience that really enjoy it. And then again, I think everybody, your professional pages, LinkedIn. It's awesome. It's a great way to connect with the industry. Those of you in sports or healthcare, I've got over 25,000 people connected to me. Maybe there's a synergy that you can make, an opportunity, a job, a direction that you're looking to do in your career. So take a look at that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, once again, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation today. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you. And I'm excited to share this with a lot of other folks. So thanks so much, John.
Thank you.